Will you please pray with me? Loving and gracious God, we always consider it an honor and a privilege to come to your word, and we come to, just to hear the message that you have for us today. Loving and gracious God, we just pray that words from these lips of clay and the meditations of all of our hearts would be holy and acceptable to you. In your most precious and holy name we pray. Amen. Amen. This morning in our scriptures, we've heard of the courage demonstrated by Sandy. We've heard of the trust and confidence in our favorite psalm, Psalm 23. We've also heard of a transforming power of an encounter with Jesus in the gospel. Those stories are wonderful, but we're going to have to wait for another day for another sermon. Actually, I've been given a task, so. Actually, I don't think any sermon could top the choir number today in terms of the power of our God. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. But I have a confession to make. I like Lent. It's very special to me, and I just love the season of Lent. I think, Gene, next year we might be able to have a fundraiser and maybe sell coffee mugs that say, I heart Lent, or t-shirts that say, I heart Lent. I think we could really, satisfy the budget that way. But, Lent for me is just a special time. It's that I love these intentional seasons where we're called to intentionally pause and take, self-account. Pause to reflect. Pause for just times of introspection. I also love the hope that is involved in Lent as we're preparing for Easter and the services of Holy Week, that time of preparation and the anticipation it builds. I really love it. I didn't grow up with it as a Baptist, Baptist, Easter comes, Easter, Christmas comes, Easter, Christmas, and there was nothing to get you there. So I've always, ever since coming to MCC, I've, had the pleasure of being able to grow in my appreciation of these seasons. Joan Chittister, the Benedictine nun, was just a wonderful author. She says, Lent is a call to renew a commitment grown dull, perhaps by a life more marked by routine than by reflection. I would add, a commitment that has grown dull from routine and busyness, because that seems to dull me most, just busyness. Our journeys through Lent here at MCC, prior to Holy Week, are marked by our soup suppers, and they're wonderful times. It's a simple meal, soup and bread. People gathering around a table, people laughing, people just sharing and being together. And there's just a spirit of thankfulness. Everybody's very appreciative for every soup that shows up. It's a wonderful thing. It's just that gratefulness is a wonderful thing. But Lent also gives us that time as an opportunity for reflection. The importance of being grateful for what we have here in this place. The importance of recognizing that each one of us play a part. You see, here we have a place of welcome. We're trying to create a place of welcome. We have a community where relationships are built. We have a community that endeavors to stand with people in good times and bad. It's a Christian community whose practice and expression is rooted in each one of our relationships with the divine. But each one of us can play a part, and we see that connection between what we do as individuals and how it increases the success of the ministry here corporately. I also like that in Lent at this place it also coincides with our stewardship program. I'd say it's wonderful planning by the stewardship team, and I know it might have something really to do with the fact that our fiscal year ends in April, but it always coincides with Lent, and I think that's a good emphasis. If you're on our mailing list, you've received a few letters from our stewardship committee, and they've been really a blessing. I love Mike's letter that we got a couple of weeks ago, where he was expressing what this ministry means. And that phrase, we believe God's good news has changed everything. Amen. Amen. That's what we're proclaiming here in this place. It's one of the core beliefs that makes this ministry unique as UFMCC and as MCCCV here in the Coachella. I was just very touched by Charlie's letter this last week, and where he was sharing, how we learn how to give, how he saw it modeled by his parents, you know, who were of limited means, but, you know, it was always, I love that phrase when you were talking about, you know, who's coming to dinner, not what's for dinner, but who's coming to dinner, you know, that there was always somebody else at the table. You know, and that phrase he used at the end, to love is to give, and to give is to love. I just found that a real blessing. It was wonderful. The concept of stewardship that we promote here is a response to the thankfulness for all we have received from God. It encompasses not only that we're given a responsibility to care for each other in this place, but that we're actually given the ability and the means to care for each other in this place. I love during the past couple of weeks when Reverend and I were creating the program for the 20th anniversary. And being able to just format that thing, and Joe helped rewriting certain things, and I needed to bring the history up to date because I'm one of the old farts who's been here for 19 years, you know. So, you know, I needed to describe how our campus is being used now in our ministry with our tenants and the impact that we have. I love creating that ministry list of everyone who helps us in our service, the list of those who've gone on before, who blessed us by their presence and they're now in glory. And even editing that story of the cross was just such a blessing to be able to know that that cross came from the previous MCC church here 30 years ago and was given to us as to continue that flame of that cross. That was a tremendous blessing just to see the type of stewardship that brought us to this place. We recognize that stewardship is an individual response with corporate effects. Okay? Each one of us makes those decisions about what we're able to do or not do, and it all works together in a really amazing way. As with any spiritual practice, anything that we take on, there are certain pitfalls and challenges. Okay? In regards to stewardship, the ones that always come to my mind because they're personal, are the I things, you know. I keep thinking what I do doesn't matter. I compare myself to somebody else, or I see what somebody else does. I go, oh, I wish I could do that, or maybe I get down to that. Oh, I just think somebody else should do it, you know. You know, those are those things that we have to get over, you know. And I know a better preacher could probably do this in a more effective way, but I just have to tell a personal story. In this place, in the time I've been here, I've worn a lot of different hats. You know, I do things. You know, since my retirement, I have a lot of time, and and I like to spend it here. There's just nothing that gives me better, satisfaction, and it's quite selfish. But there's times when I get that voice in my head. A voice that basically says, that kind of confirms, as Joe knows, that I have a bitter and cold heart, and Reverend knows that Jim has a real snarky side, and most of you have probably experienced that too, But, I'm, feet of clay, up to my knees. But I know when I am alone with my thoughts, when I am alone in that time with God, and where I'm just tired, and I just go, I don't want to do it anymore. And all I hear from God every time is just, a problem is presented and it says, what can you do? What can you do? And when I ask why should I? God just says, because you can. Because you can. What can you do? Why should I do it? Because you can. I never hear compulsion. I never hear guilt. I never hear arm twisting. God never approaches me that way. It's always just, what can you do? What can you do? And you should do it just because you can. You can. And given those means and resources and gifts, whatever it is, you can do it. And that's just something I want to drive home, because in this time of Lent, as we get other things from our stewardship committee, there's going to be cards coming out this next week. We have the luncheon coming up on Palm Sunday. all of these things, I just pray for brothers and sisters that as we get them, we receive them in the spirit of Lent, and in a spirit of just pausing and contemplating, what can we do? What gifts have we been given? How can we share them for God's glory in this place? In this precious name.